Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain different types of bolted connections. So types of bolted connection. So now let us see how many types of bolted connections are there. The first, lap joint or lap connection. So as we have used here the word connection, now let us here use the word joint. Lap joint and then butt joint. So in this butt joint again there existed two types. One is single cover butt joint and next is double cover butt joint. So these are the types of bolted connections. Clear? Lap joint, butt joint. So in that single cover butt joint and double cover butt joint. Okay. So now let us start the discussion of lap joint and then butt joint so that in detail. So first understand about these connections. See, once again I'm repeating this thing. In the beginning itself, we have discussed that steel is a subject which generally students or aspirants feel that is a difficult and tough. Okay, as I said, one word that is civil engineers will have a disease, steel phobia. Okay, so when that will be the case, so if we don't clear with means if you don't have the proper clear in the basics, okay, if you don't understand the basic concepts and fundamentals, then that is the case. But if we understand the basics and everything, then it is one of the simplest subject in civil engineering, total civil engineering, and you will enjoy the learning this subject. Agree or not? So that is the reason these many times I'm stressing this point. Why? Because this is the introduction itself. So we are at the beginning. So if I made you alert in the beginning itself, then you will understand or you will be more concentrate in the coming discussions. Clear? So first let us start with the lap joint. So lap joint. So the name itself suggests that we are going to overlap. Lap. Okay. So this is one plate. And this is another plate. So by overlapping these two members, as I said, so this is one member and this is another member. So by overlapping these two members like this, so upon placing these two members and drilling a hole. So drilling a hole and we are going to place a bolts in that. This is how the lap connection is going to be established or lap connection is going to be done. So here one line. So this is the front view. Okay, this is the front view. Again, be clear with front view, top view, and all the views. Okay, so whatever you have discussed in engineering drawing, so those concepts, just the basic things we are going to make use here. So assume that this is one plate and this is another plate. So these two plates are connected by overlapping like this. Okay, so this is one plate and this is the other plate. So these two plates are connected by overlapping them. After overlapping them, what we are going to do? We are going to drill a hole. So this is the front view. Now what you can able to see in this is front view. So this is front view. That is what I've shown on the board. So the front view like this. Agree. So in the front view, what are the dimensions you are going to observe? Come on, tell me. In front view, what are the dimensions you are going to observe? Come on, see and tell me. So in front view, we are going to observe the length of the member and thickness. Yes or no? In front view, we are going to observe the length and thickness. Clear. And what is the other view? Top view, like this. If I place like this is the top view. So in the top view, what are the dimensions we are going to observe? Length and width. Yes or no? In the top view, we are going to observe length and width. So now, in front view, we can observe the number of lines of bolts. Okay, so if you see in the diagram, how many lines are there? Two lines are there. But in each line, how many bolts are there? We cannot see in a front view. So to know how many number of bolts in each line, we have to go for top view. So if I show like this is top view. So in top view, what are the dimensions we can observe? Come on, tell me. Width and length. And in front view, thickness and length. So in front view, we can see the number of bolt lines. That's it. But in top view, we can see number of bolt lines and number of bolts in each line. Clear or not? So this is front view, and now I'm going to show you the top view. Front view, and this is top view. So here I'm going to represent the dimensions. So this is the thickness. And the distance from top to bottom is considered as a grip length, LG. We represent with L, small l suffix G. So this is known as grip length. So in front view, we can see the thickness and length. And in triangle, number of bolt lines. That's it. But in top view, so this is the top view. So in top view, we can observe the width. So this is the width. So in top view, we can observe width and length. Okay. In front view, we can observe thickness and length. So now here, how many lines are there? 2 lines are there. But we don't know in each line how many bolts are present. So assume that this is our assumption. We can provide as many bolts as we wish. Actually, we have to provide according to the load. Okay, according to that given conditions, we have to provide. But this is an example. So assume that there exists 3 bolts in each line. So these are the bolts. So here we can see only the line, number of lines. Here the 2 lines. But here, of course, we can see the lines and bolts in each line. Clear or not? So this is the lap joint, the diagram. So now where we are going to place a load here? So this is how the load is going to be applied. P. P. So this is the central line of action of force, and here this is the central line of action of force. Okay. So now this is the lap joint, front view and top view. And there is a small terminology here. And one more thing, coming to the steel, this terminology and imagination is a more important. Agree? So as I said in the beginning itself, generally civil engineers have the steel phobia. It means some disease. It means they feel that the steel is most toughest and difficult subject in civil engineering. But that is not the case. But as I explained you the reason for it also. What is the reason? Because of less familiarity and lack of imagination. So now what I'm going to try in this session is I'm going to make you the familiarity of this structure. And I'm going to tell you how to imagine it. So just now the front view. So if I simply write front view and top view, of course, many of you will understand. But for some, they will confuse. So they will not try to visualize what is front view and what is top view. That is the reason by using books I'm going to explain. Agree or not? So that you will understand much clearly. Once you got that how to imagine, and once you get that familiarity, then as I said, you will feel this subject as very easy. Clear? So as I said, some terminology is there. For example, here how many lines of bolts are there? See, in each line, number of rivets may present or number of bolts may present. And one more thing, whenever I use the word bolt, then you consider it as a rivet. Whenever I use the word rivet, then you consider it as a bolt. But the reason, almost both are one and the same. Only the difference we have discussed. Clear? So now here how many lines are there? 2 lines. So whenever these 2 lines of bolts are present, then that connection is known as, so this connection is known as double bolted lap joint. It means here how many lines are provided? 2 lines. So double bolted. Okay. So it means double bolted means not 2 bolts. Okay. So chances are there for you to confuse. So double bolted means not 2 bolts, 2 lines. In each line, they may present number of bolts. Okay, more than 1, 2, 3. So it depends. So but if double bolted lap joint means 2 lines of bolted are provided. Similarly, single bolted lap joint means only 1 line is provided. So in the example, we have seen only 1 bolt. So if only 1 line of bolt is presented, so in that line there may present more than 1. But if 1 line of bolt is provided, then it is known as single bolted lap joint. If 3 triple bolted, like that. So that depends upon the number of lines. So in the question they may give you for a double bolted lap joint. They start like this. So if you don't know what is double bolted, chances are there for you to get confused. Agree or not? So if you are clear with these terminologies and terms and everything in the steel, then as I said, it is a very simple subject. Clear? So this is about the lap joint and this is a small terminology here. So after that, let us see the characteristic of lap joint. Okay, characteristic of lap joint. Okay, characteristics of lap joint. So first, lap joint is the least efficient joint. So first characteristic is lap joint is the least efficient joint. So it means as far as possible, whenever we are making a connection by using a board, we avoid making this type of connection, that is lap joint. The reason, it is the least efficient. So now one think why it is the least efficient. Everyone, one think why it is the least efficient. One think why the lap joint is the least efficient. So it is the least efficient. Once you observe the diagram, I guess most of you will answer it. So once observe the diagram and tell me why it is the least efficient. So the reason for its least efficiency is if you see the line of action of force. So why we are so once before going into it, tell me why we are going to provide a connection. So actually to take this load we require some 10-meter length. Okay, to take that load of 10 kilonewton we require a 10-meter length. But we know that already steel sections are manufactured. So the standard size that is going to be manufactured is 6 meters. So we don't have the 10 meters in field or in practicality. So now what we are going to do? We are going to take 6 meter, 2 members, and then we are going to cut for 1 meter and we are going to make a connection overlap for 1 meter. Resume it. Of course, that much of length we are not going to provide overlap, but that is assumption. So like this. Agree or not? So why we are going to make a connection in this case? For providing the sufficient length so that that load can be taken by this member without failure. For that we are going to make a connection. So after making the connection, so this load P on this member has to be transferred to this member. Yes or no? So the load P from this member has to be transferred to this member. So now this is the line of action of P in this member. And this is the line of action of P in this member. Agree or not? And if you see both the line of actions, there exists some eccentricity between these two forces. Now because of these two forces, now they develop a moment or not. Agree or not? So why we have provided the connection? To transfer the load, axial load P from this member to this member. It means now the connections has to take only that load P and it has to transfer from one plate to other plate. That is the main purpose of the providing connections. But in addition to that load, here the bolted connection is subjected to moment also because of different line of action of two forces. Agree or not? So because of the different action of line of forces, this bolted connection is subjected to moment. That is why it is least efficient. One of the reason. And one more reason is if you observe, this connection is not symmetrical. Of course, we have discussed what is symmetrical. So if you fold it, that is not overlapping, just like a book. Agree or not? So the reason for its least efficiency is two different line of action of forces and unsymmetry. That is the reason. So write down that. So lap joint is the least efficient due to different line of action. Due to different line of action of two forces. Two forces and unsymmetry. Unsymmetry of the connection. Okay. So that is the reason for the least efficiency of this lap joint. Next, bolts. Lap joint. Bolts in lap joint are are subjected to. It means in transferring the load from this member to this member, what are the forces this bolt is subjected to? Let us see. Okay, so assume that this is a bolt. So this is a bolt like this. Okay, so assume that this is a bolt. So now this bolt, some part of this bolt is in one plate, okay, bottom plate, and some part of bolt is in top plate. So now if this bolt connection is not there, assume that this bolted connection is not there. Now what happened? Because of the force P, this member tried to move away. So the example what we have shown on the board, I'm explaining further. So if we assume that there is no bolt here, now what happened? The force, the P, tensile force P in this member try to pull this force away from this connection, and the force on the top member also try to pull away from each other, so they try to move away. Now which is going to prevent that movement? Bolt. Agree or not? Which is going to prevent that force? Bolt. So in this case what happened? So this is a bolt like this, so this member is going to move like this, and this member is going to move like this. So in that moment what happened? It is going to break like this or not? So if we don't provide a bolt of proper strength, then what happened? The bolt will break like this. Clear or not? Yes or no? So it means what is this type of failure is known as? So I will show here. So this is going to move like this, and this is going to move like this. Because of this, it is going to break like this. So now what is this type of failure? This type of failure is known as shear failure of bolt. So now what is the area that is subjected to shear? See here. This area is going to break. Yes or no? So this area is going to break. Now what is this area? Circular area. So the dia of the bolt is D. So pi by 4 D square. That is the area subjected to shear. So now it means the bolted in this connection is subjected to shear. So if they don't have proper shear, then they will break and both the plates will move away. Agree or not? So that is the first force that is subjected, that bolts are subjected to. Next, assume that these bolts are strong enough in shear. Okay, assume that these bolts are strong enough in shear, so they are not going to break like this. Okay, so now in that case what happened? So the bolts that plates are trying to pull. See here the tension, the force may be compression also. Okay, not always the tension. Clear? So now these two plates are trying to move away from each other. So now trying to pull this bolt from this connection. So now chance are there for this bolt to shear here. So break into two parts. Okay, shear here and break into two parts. Now as we said, assume that they are strong enough in shear. Now in that case what happened? So as they are trying to move away, so now bolt is not allowing it. Now in this process, they are trying to press this bolt. Yes or no? So they are going to try. So these two members are moving, trying to move away from each other, and bolt is preventing it. The reason it is a strong enough in shear. But after that, what happened? The bolt which is embedded in the member trying to press it. Yes or no? So trying to press it. So that force is known as bearing force. Okay, that is known as bearing. So bearing occurs after shear. So if it is strong enough in shear, so first more chances are there for the bolt to fail in shear. So after that, if it is strong enough in shear, then chances are there for that bolt to bear. Means pressing action. Clear or not? So now based on that, you tell me the bolts, bolts in the lap joint are subjected to shear. So how many shears it will subjected to? So how many planes of interface are there? That many times the bolt is subjected to shear. How many planes are there here? Only one plane here. Agree or not? So as only one plane of shear is there, or one plane of interface is there here. So only the bolts are subjected to single shear. So bolts in the lap joint are subjected to single shear and bearing. So bearing is nothing but pressing action. Bearing. So this is the characteristic of lap joint. So the important. So take it down. So once I repeat, lap joint is the least efficient joint due to different line of action of two forces and unsymmetry of the connection. And bolts in lap joint are subjected to single shear and bearing. So just now I have shown how it is subjected to shear and how it is subjected to bearing. So what is the next type of connection? Butt joint. So next is butt joint. So butt joint is nothing but placing the member end on end. So this is one member and this is one member. In the previous case, what we have done or how the connection is done. So by overlapping and by making the holes, we have done the connection. But in butt joint, we are going to place the member end on end. So end to end or end on end. So after placing the member like this, what we have to do? We have to use the cover plates. Okay. So this is the member and this is the member. So by using cover plates like this. Clear? So by using the cover plate top and bottom. and making the holes, we are going to make a connection. Clear or not? So now butt joint. So this is the member, one member, and this is another member. So end on end connection. Okay, so now after placing these two members, we are going to place a cover plate. So by placing the cover plate on the top. So here in lap joint we are having two types. What are the two types? So first is single cover butt joint. So here we are going to discuss single cover butt joint first. After that double cover butt joint. So single cover butt joint. The name itself suggests single cover. It means we are going to use only one cover plate. So then it is known as single cover butt joint. So after providing this, we are going to make a holes. Okay. So this is how the connection can be made by using single cover butt joint. And obviously it is a front view. So in front view we can observe the thickness and length. If we see in top view we can observe width and length. So in that we are going to see the number of rivets in or bolts in each line. So here we have provided how many lines? So two lines in one plate, okay, each plate. So here the two lines and here the two lines. Okay. So we should not say four lines in this case. So why we should not say four lines in this case, I will explain in detail. But here we have to say only two lines. The reason, we have to consider only one side, not both the sides at a time. Okay, at the same time, we should not consider both the sides. Only we have to consider on one side. So here, if we consider one side, so remember, forget about this. If we consider one side, then how many lines of bolts we are having? Two lines. So forget about this. Or forget about this. How many? Two lines. So now this is called as double bolted single cover butt joint. Why? Because two lines are there. If only one line is there, so here one line and here one line, then it is known as single bolted single cover butt joint. Or here this is called as double bolted single cover butt joint. So now if you see the characteristics, so characteristic of the single cover butt joint. Okay, single cover butt joint. So as we discussed in the previous case, the characteristic. So first characteristic of lap joint is the least efficient. But here in this case, so in comparison with lap joint, the single cover butt joint is the efficient. Okay. It is efficient in comparison with lap joint, but not the most efficient. So tell me the reason why it is not the most efficient. Of course it is the efficient in comparison with the lap joint. Why it is efficient in comparison with the lap joint? Come and tell me. So just by seeing the diagram we can tell. The reason for it is the line of action of force is same. Yes or no? The line of action of force is same, so that there exists no moment, no additional moment in the bolted connection. So actually the bolted are provided to take shear and bearing. But in addition to that, the moment, bending moment or some moment is coming on to that bolted connection. So that is happening in lap joint. That is why it is least efficient. Yes or no? But here that is not the case. Agree? Here that is not the case. The reason, the line of action of both the forces is same. So that is why it is efficient in comparison with the lap joint. But it is not the most efficient. So why the reason? Come on, think. Why it is not the most efficient? one sink. So just by seeing the diagram, we can say, so it is not symmetrical. It means here we are having the two axes. So this is one axis, x, and this is another axis, y. So if we fold along this y axis, they will coincide, clear, or overlap. But if you fold along this axis, x axis, it will not overlap. Why? Because here one cover plate is there, at bottom no cover plate. So because of unsymmetry. Agree or not? Why the reason for it not most efficient is due to unsymmetry. Due to unsymmetry. Agree or not? That is one of the reason. Next. So obviously we discuss second. So bolts in this connection are subjected to so here how many interfaces are there? How many interfaces are there? So here only the one interface. Agree or not? So it means bolts are subjected to single shear and bearing. So mostly bolts are rivets in these connections are subjected to single shear and bearing. So bolts are subjected to single shear. Okay. So this is the characteristic of single cover butt joint. So take it down. Single cover butt joint. Okay. Next is double cover butt joint. The name itself, double cover. So we are going to provide cover at top and bottom in this case. So we are going to provide cover plate top and bottom. That is why it is known as double cover butt joint. And that too here how many lines we have provided? So as I said, we have to see only one side at a time. So 2 lines. So this is called as double bolted double cover butt joint. So this is called as double bolted double cover butt joint. Now if you observe the characteristics. So characteristics of double cover butt joint. DCBJ. Double cover butt joint. Double cover butt joint. So now if you see, the line of action of two forces are same. Yes or no? And if you fold it in both the axes, means along this axis and along this axis, they are coinciding or overlapping. So it means this is the most efficient joint. So out of all the joints, which is the most efficient? Lap joint is, sorry, the double cover butt joint is the most efficient. Least efficient is a lap joint. And the most efficient is a double cover butt joint. So it is the most efficient. It is the most efficient. So it is the most efficient out of all the connections, be it a lap joint or single cover butt joint. So by double cover butt joint is the most efficient. The reason, same line of action of forces and symmetry. The reason for its most efficient nature is same line of action and then symmetry. Clear or not? And bolts are subjected to. Tell me. So how many interfaces are there here? So this is one interface and here another interface. Agree or not? So now bolts are subjected to double shear. So bolts in this lap and bearing. Why? Because two interfaces are there. So chance are there for this bolt to shear at these two locations. Agree or not? So that is the double shear. So now the bolts are subject double shear. So see, this is a very, very important point. Okay. So bolts in double cover butt joint are subjected to double shear. So this is an objective question. Number of times repeated objective this is. GATE and even in various state public service commissions and in UPSC like IES. So the number of times repeated question it is. What is that? Bolts in double cover butt joint is subjected to double shear. Why? Because two planes of interface are there. So chance are there for the bolt to shear at these two locations. So that is why it is subjected to double shear and bearing. So these are the characteristics of double cover butt joint. So take it down.